Welcome to the New Human, Nervous System Coherence, and Embodied Evolution. I'd like to invite you to settle in for a transmission rather than a conversation. In this session, Steve Rother will be sharing about the New Human offered through the long-standing relationship with the Group of Nine. This is an invitation to listen beyond the mind, to notice what resonates in your body, and to explore how regulation, presence, and embodiment may be central to how we navigate this accelerated change we're in. Welcome, Steve.
Thanks so much for having me, Dr. Sandra. This is a joy for me. I get to kind of cross over into mainstream for a little bit. It's kind of fun.
Yes, we need you in mainstream a little bit more.
Thank you.
If you're ready, I'm just going to give you the screen. Does that work?
I'm ready. I'm all set. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
I'll let everybody know very briefly that I'm a channel. I'm the channel for the Group of Nine. I'm actually one of the nine, they tell me. I didn't know that early. And the reason I'm bringing all this up is I am going to channel in just a little bit. But to start out, I want to cover a couple of things that the group has talked about. These are things that are probably going to come up in other areas of the stress. I heard Betty talking about the vagus nerve. We're going to briefly go through that just to kind of share with you a different view. You're going to have a lot of views here. Hopefully you'll get some new tools in different ways. And I'd like to cover just a little bit of what we're doing and why we're doing it. And then we'll go into a channel and we'll bring the group's message in. I never know what they're going to say exactly, so we'll just have to kind of wait and see. But of course, this whole process is about working with the stress, working with the ideas of what this is and what this looks like, and some of the aspects of what we're doing in this area with our nervous system. So there's two pieces we're going to be working with. One of them is stress in general, which is many times just, taking on too much stuff. That's kind of this is what I look like most of the time, to be honest with you. The other one, of course, is inflammation. Stress many times causes inflammation in your world. And that is really, according to the group anyway, behind a lot of our illnesses outside of even the nervous system. But we're working with the nervous system, and we want to give you some tools, again, that the group has shown me that I think everybody can use, no matter what your belief systems, no matter what you have here. Kind of a different way of looking at things to kind of bring you in a different level. The inflammation, of course, as we mentioned, causes a tremendous amount of challenges in different ways. So we try to do the best we can to bring it down. We deserve to be happy and pain-free on this planet. Real simple. And I know that there's chronic issues that lay in that the group has talked a lot about. There's other things that have worked with over periods of time that we can work with. But I want to bring it down to the nervous system, and in particularly what the group has been talking to me about, and we have been working with in our Lightmaster group for over 20 years now, and that is the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the parasympathetic. Well, I'm going to show you both sides of it because we have kind of a little bit of a conflict as to what the vagus nerve is. The vagus nerve is a nerve that travels through 6 of the 7 chakras in the body, covers a tremendous amount of things, is responsible for a lot. It is part of the autonomic nervous system. In other words, we don't have control over it. It's completely automatic. And I'm going to show you 2 different sides. First of all, I'm going to show you the kind of the new information that's here about that. And that comes from Stephen Porges. I'll simply mention it. He talks about the polyvagal theory, which is basically combining both sides of this into one. For this illustration, I'm simply going to show it to you the same way that the group has shown me. The vagus nerve comes down right behind the ears here. Here, I have a picture of it so you can see it. And it basically goes, as I mentioned, in different ways. But a lot of times when, one of the ways you can activate your vagus nerve is to smile. When you smile, there's a little tingle that comes down here. That's your vagus nerve. You can actually feel it. We do some exercises in our Lightmaster group about this as well. And of course, it's on both sides of the of the neck too, so it's not just on one side, and it goes down in many different ways. Now, the way the group showed it to me, and Stephen Porges basically says these two are combined into the vagus nerve, which makes a lot of sense, but they showed it to me as two different sides, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. And the way that we describe this is fairly simple. Just imagine for just a moment that you're sitting on a wall, a little short wall, and you're looking out into the distance, and you're really relaxed and having a wonderful time, and somebody comes up behind you and pushes you off the wall. You do two things, and they both involve the vagus nerve. Well, they both involve your your autonomic nervous system. The first thing you do is you breathe in. You go very fast, because that triggers the sympathetic nervous system, which drops the adrenaline in your blood, makes you awake, does everything of that nature. And then it's only about 3 foot high, so it's not a big deal. But when you land, you go another thing, you take another breath and you go, whew, I'm glad I'm okay. So you got the really fast breath and the very slow out breath. And that they showed me it this way for a purpose. They showed it this way so that we would understand the exercise that they wanted me to do. Now, how do we exercise the vagus nerve? Well, there's a ton of different ways of doing it. We have been doing it as humans for a very long time. One of them, of course, is meditation, going inside in different ways. Another, well, we can let him do it too. And then, of course, you have Tai Chi, you've got yoga, you've got prayer, you've got so many different ways of being able to work with this in different aspects, all of which clear out your vagus nerve. Why are we interested in clearing out the vagus nerve? Well, I don't know if science agrees with me, medical science agrees with me, but the group says we store stress in our vagus nerve. And as a result, we have difficulty functioning and especially connecting with other people and the outside world. Now, if you're empathic, like I am, like many people are, you tend to shut down and you tend to kind of hide sometimes because you don't want all this influence coming in, and you choose just the positive things and you try to avoid the negative things and so forth. Well, that to me, that means your vagus nerve is full of stress. And that's one of the things that we're going to show you a little bit about here today as we move forward into this. But there's so many wonderful ways of releasing this, and you can choose whatever works for you. Seriously, listening to music, some of the exercises Betty was just doing, there's all sorts of ways of releasing this tension in your body. And the body, like I said, the vagus nerve is really where it is. And we just did the smile. The funny part about the smile, when you have full of stress in your vagus nerve, you don't smile. You tend to just kind of walk around in different ways. So I'm going to share with you the vagus breath. Now, I made a little video to kind of work with one of our year-long continual classes. It's called Light Master. And we use this almost every week. We do vagus breath exercises. And you'll see different people doing very similar exercises in different ways. They all share pretty much the same thing: a quick in-breath and a very slow out-breath. You are breathing in to trigger and to release the sympathetic nervous system, which is the one that drops all the adrenaline in, wakes you up really quick. And the other one is to calm down. That's the parasympathetic side, and that's the vagus nerve part that we're going to be working with here. So what I'm going to ask everybody to do is find a spot, a comfortable spot. We're just going to do it for a couple of minutes. I'll explain what we're going to do. We're going to take a couple deep breaths. First of all, several deep breaths in a row. We don't have to do it together. In through the nose, out through the mouth is generally the way that people will do it. And then we're going to go into this exercise. The video will show you that we're going to take 4 seconds to breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to go out to a count of 8. And at each side, we're going to pause twice. So I'll count it out. Hopefully I can keep track. Sometimes I daze off here and lose track myself, but I'll count it out. But if you can't keep up, don't worry about it. It's an exercise. You can always come back and do it later. This is going to be available for people to watch and so forth. But and when we take these fast breaths in, it's much easier if you'll just open your mouth and breathe in through the mouth and out through the mouth. If you take a fast breath in through the nose, many times you'll choke. There's a way of kind of blocking that. So again, I'm giving instructions, and I know some of you are just going to do it the way that you do it, and that's fine. That's perfect. So enjoy the journey. And so let's start, first of all, by taking several deep breaths in. Just in and out. You don't have to worry about timing anything. Good. Okay, keep breathing. Keep breathing. Here we go. Breathe it all out in just a second. Another one, breathe out. Here we go. In, 2, 3, 4. Pause, pause, out. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 5, 6, 7, 8. Pause, pause. In, 2, 3, 4. Pause, pause. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pause, pause. You're getting the hang of it now. Just let yourself go. Keep following it. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pause, pause. In. 2, 3, 4. Pause, pause. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All out. In. 2, 3, 4. Pause, pause. Out. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. In and in. 2, 3, 4. Pause, pause. Out. 2, 3, 4. Stop breathing. Your blood is well oxygenated. You don't need a breath. Allow your spirit to come forward now. Can you feel it? Can you feel the smile coming on your face? You can breathe whenever you want. Perfect. You have just cleared a lot of your own vagus nerve. That's one tool that you can use. And as we mentioned, there's many people that have come up with vagus breaths, breathing techniques. Everyone that I have seen involves a fast in-breath and a slow out-breath for the very reason that I showed you. Getting pushed off the wall, you take a fast in-breath, and then going out, you take a slow breath and you go, this is home. I'm okay now. Excellent. Okay, so wanted to kind of give you that one through part of the energies that we're working with. I'll bring the group in just a few minutes, but I do want to bring up a couple of other possibilities. Another thing that we find very popular in today's world is grounding. Grounding is huge for releasing tension in the muscles as well as the vagus nerve, but different parts of that simply connecting with the earth. Now, some of this is just walking barefoot in the grass or going out in the woods and just sitting for a while, touching things, bringing your body in contact with Mother Nature. It's an incredible way of doing things, and it's a way of really connecting your spirit in different ways. But you can also touch people. And many times when we get empathetic, when we get so sensitive that we're afraid to touch people or be around people, we build up a lot of stress in the vagus nerve. And that can be released very easily. There's many people I do private sessions with that just need touch. Now, I do private sessions over the internet, so I can't reach out and touch them. But I'll recommend to them a couple things. I'll recommend that they get massages once in a while, that they go walk on the beach, that they go walk in the woods, that they do something of that nature and they touch another human. Dogs are great for this, for grounding some of that energy out. So you have many different ways. Crystals, stones of any type can help you again ground in different ways to bring through some of the stress that you're carrying in many of the aspects. So a lot of that can be a way to ground as well. Everything from hugs, you can develop the habit of touching. Many times when I'm talking to a person, I'll take their arm or their hand and I'll take their hand and I'll reach out and I'll touch their arm at the same time, or I'll put my hand on their shoulder while I'm talking to them. That is tremendous. It's another form of communication, basically, but it also balances your stress. It releases the energy. Don't worry about giving it to them. Most of the time, you're taking it from them. You will have a natural balance. You will balance each other very naturally in this ways. So this is a wonderful way to connect in different things. And these are some of the simple tools that the group has given me to work with some of this. You know, they call it practical magic. And although I'm very spiritual and I live in the metaphysical world all the time, the reality is if we can't use it every day to make our lives better, it's no use. It doesn't work. And certain things are going to work for different people. So try all of it. Find what works for you and use it the best you can. That's going to be one of the big pieces that I think all of you can do in different areas. So the touch can be everything from getting a dog or getting a cat to be in your lap. If you have grandchildren, be around them a lot. They're going to climb all over you. That's perfect. If you have a partner, develop that habit of hugging all the time. Anytime you see them, or when you're past them in the kitchen, just put your hand on them for a second. It's incredible what little things like that can build up to. And of course, you have intimate touch, you have sex, you have all the different areas of doing that if that's a possibility for you. So these are all wonderful ways of releasing a lot of the stress that the group says builds up in the vagus nerve. Now, there's another way that I want to share with you before I go into channel. And that is that many of you are healers, whether you know it or not. And many of you have come in this lifetime. I'm a big believer in reincarnation. Many of you have come in this lifetime to express that, or maybe to continue something that you were doing in the last lifetime, or maybe to correct something that you were doing in the last lifetime. So these are all, again, just the visions from the group and the way they show me things. But there is something you can do here, and that is sending energy. So there's all sorts of ways of sending energy, and try several of them on, because again, this energy builds up in the body and especially in the vagus nerve. And I'm just be able to point up here, the vagus nerve goes all the way down into the sexual centers. So it covers a tremendous amount. It's kind of iffy whether it actually goes into the sexual centers. The nerve itself stops just before that, but it seems to cover a lot of that as well. There's science is still deciding that. So it's either 6 of the 7 chakras or 7 of the 7 chakras that it covers. And basically, if you have digestive problems, like many people on this planet right now, that's vagus nerve. That's exactly what it is. If you're extremely obese, vagus nerve. There's a lot of things that they have found. They have found ways of actually making a little incision here and putting a little coil, little electrical coil in there to put a charge into your vagus nerve, and it works. It's pretty drastic because they have to open you up. We can do it simply by some of these simple exercises. Now you have to repeat it. It's not going to be on a battery where it's going all the time. But once you repeat it enough, it becomes part of you. So what about sending energy? Well, when I started channeling the group, I was a general contractor, so I did not have a history in any of this. And I found myself in a situation where the group was coming into me for the first time. And I was in a group of maybe 10 or 12 people. And I closed my eyes. It seemed like I was gone for an hour, but probably only 5 minutes. But they were all worried about me. And when I opened my eyes, they were all sending energy with their hands. Well, I didn't know what that was. I do now. You have huge energy centers in the palm of your hand. As we evolve into what we're calling the fifth dimension, you'll also be able to send energy through the tips of your fingers, however it works for you. If you want to see what I'm talking about, you can see lots of exercises, of course, with hands and healing hands, different ways of touch and even without touch to be able to do that. But what about an inanimate object? What happens when you touch a doorknob? More importantly, what happens when you touch something in public places? Well, you would think right away you have to go wash your hands. I'm in airports a lot. There's always these escalators, and you kind of have to hang on. So you're working with these in different ways. I wonder about the germs that I pick up. So what I do when I put my hands on there, I send energy into those rails, knowing full well that the person behind me and probably 3 or 4 people behind me are liable to feel that energy. They're liable to pick it up and feel something positive that I intentionally left there. So sending love, sending energy through those ways is a perfect way also for you to clear your energy. So every time you touch a doorknob, think about it before you let go. Take a deep breath, put some energy into it. You live in a big family, it'll settle a lot of energies. If you're in a public space, you will create and plant seeds of love that you may never get to see them come to bloom, but they certainly will. Okay, so these are 3 basic tools, very simple, that the group has given me that we use in many different ways in this energy to be able to work with it. I hope you enjoyed that part of it. I'm going to go into channel right now. I'm going to, sometimes I make noises while I'm doing. So I'm going to bring this screen over. This is my website too. You can find me here much more on our YouTube. Give me just a moment. Greetings from home, dear ones. We are what the keeper calls the group. We have typically brought in at one entity or another, but today we wish to address you as a collective, all 9 of us. He's the 9th. So let us share with you what is taking place. As he's mentioned, we have been working with groups of people on this for more than 20 years with these same exercises. They work. They can help you change your life consciously. They can work with you in many different ways to be able to elevate your own frequency. Why would you want to elevate your frequency? Well, planet Earth is changing if you haven't noticed. Yes, we know you're all divided right now, but trust us, this will change. You have connections to be able to find new energies in different ways. You will adjust. You will move through new levels very quickly. So with that, we talk about the 5th dimension. You have come through the 3rd dimension, living there for a very long time in what we call polarity or duality, if you will. You're moving out of that. And with that comes a whole variety of new energies. We can tell you there's no right or wrong in the 5th dimension. There's no black and white. It's all shades of gray. There's wonderful ways of looking at it, and your connection to other people becomes much stronger. Very similar to other times that you have been on Earth, including the days of Lemuria. Now, let's speak of this for just a moment, because as you move into this higher frequency, and we tell you the 5th dimension is not a place, it is a frequency. But as you start living in this higher realm, your physical bodies will change. It will take time. Your physical bodies have been built in duality. It's why you have 2 of everything. Well, wait a minute, you have more than 2, but you have the idea. So the connection part is the most important part. You will start feeling the connection everywhere. As we mentioned, Some of you are incredibly empathic. Some of you choose very carefully what energies you bring in, what food you eat, what people you put yourself around, what you listen to on the radio or the television, or what you read. Those are perfect. And yet, don't protect yourself, please. Expose yourself to as many things as you can. That gives you freedom. That gives you energy. That gives you insight as to why people act a certain way. It's perfect. And in the frequencies of the higher vibration, this vagus nerve takes on a whole new meaning. You'll learn how to live with it in a different way. You'll learn how to work in harmony with your spirit by working with your vagus nerve, by being able to clear. And as we've mentioned, even your own medical sciences are clearing very much now, all about inflammation, trying to find that inflammation is behind many of the diseases, many of the challenges that you experience in the physical body. Depression, anxiety, even the emotional challenges that many experience. Some of what you call the mental illnesses are triggered by these. You'll learn more about this as you evolve, because now you're about to have an explosion of technology. Yes, the technology is scary for some, and yet it's also going to solve many of the problems that you have, or at least give you insights to follow in a different way. So you'll be able to learn much more about what you have coming and where your energy is coming forward into this world. But know this. You see, let us tell you a brief story, because you may not know who you are the way we see you. Let us explain how we see you on Earth. We know that there's all these different belief systems, there's all these different cultures, there's all these different races. We hope you can take the race out of the human race. It is time, absolutely. The inclusion of everyone, everywhere, is what will set this into motion. Now, it's not easy. They wear different clothes than you. It's easy to become afraid of them. It's easy to think that they are taking something that should have been yours, especially if you're told that. So take a breath. And if you take it back far enough, you'll see that everyone came from home and everyone is connected there. It's like the two fingers on your hand. This finger knows this finger. They're separate. They have different personalities. They have different aspects and different purposes, but they're part of each other. Well, you are intricately connected on the other side of the veil, and what we call home, you may call it heaven. And yet, when you come here, you're still connected. You just can't see it. And that will start to change. As that starts to take place, you'll form different levels of communication, all of which can be blocked if you carry stress in different parts of your body. So we're going to give you the tools now to work with some of these things. You'll start to feel as much of your multidimensional selves coming back. You'll start to see things that you didn't think were possible. Even right now, some of you may start to be seeing what we call shadow figures out of the peripheral of your eyes. You'll walk into a room and you'll see some movement over here. You'll turn and it will disappear because it's in another dimension. But these dimensional walls are starting to thin. You're going to see magic take place here, right now. We're not talking about the next generation. We're talking about yours. So what can you do to evolve yourself, to balance yourself, to be a part of everything that you can be a part of? And we don't ask you to follow every religion or do everything that you may not harmonize with. Find what works for you. Follow it but certainly follow whatever you can with it. But also don't shut the door to everything else, because that causes the duality that keeps you locked in the third dimension, keeps you from evolving into a new way. So let us tell you this story. We call it the line in heaven. You see, we talk about Lemuria. We talk about Atlantis. And Atlantis came after Lemuria. Atlantis sank. The water's rising now. Isn't that interesting? But Did it sink all at once? Did it sink overnight? No, they saw it coming. They knew it was happening, and they knew they couldn't do anything about it. It was already underway. So when Atlantis sank and millions died very quickly, afterwards, you as spirits stopped time. Now, time is an illusion anyway, but you stopped time and had a grand meeting of all the spirits that were ever involved here on Earth, whether it was Lemuria, whether it was Atlantis, whether it was other dimensional realities. But you see, you're a family. You're a grand family of humans. You've done this before in different places. We'll talk about that another time. But during this meeting, you all decided, because you make the decisions, you all decided that if you ever got humanity to a level where you could actually make that jump into the next level, because you were very close in Atlantis, that you would all jump in, that as many of the Atlanteans would jump in and incarnate, and all the Lemurians, anyone that had been there before, would come in and see if they can push humanity over the edge into the next level, into that higher vibration of what we call the fifth dimension. Well, it started to happen. And it was positive that this was moving in this direction. So suddenly Atlanteans started coming in. At first, you called it the baby boom generation, but it continued and continued and continued. And many people came in. But an interesting thing happened before anyone came in. It was as if there was a long line in heaven, and the person at the front of the line turned around and looked at the person behind him. Now, when you're on the other side of the veil, you're not burdened with egos like you are here, so it's a little different. And that person looked at them and said, you know what? You have a better chance of making a difference here than I do. Why don't you take my spot and I'll move back? And a whole reshuffling of the line took place. And the highest vibration of humans were ready to come in. And here you are. You are those beings. You have made it. Yes, you don't remember it. You lose your memory in the veil every time you come in. You are the grand beings that came in to push this past the difficulties that you are now in. You can make a huge difference on this planet just by being you, by listening to your own spirit. Yes, you're going to listen to other things. You're going to educate yourself. You're going to do what you can to make a difference with other people. Sometimes just a smile makes a huge difference. What happens when you smile? You activate your vagus nerve. It sends out a signal. They smile too. And that is magic. And we'll tell you, this is the time to step forward, to make as many of these changes and differences as you can. Because you are grand beings, all of you. You made it here. The line shuffled. You are the highest vibration of beings that came back. Now, you won't remember it. And many of you are thinking, why am I here? I know I have contracts, but I want to see the small print. I don't remember signing this contract to play this game. But here you are, and you're magical. And we tell you, it can only be done by you. So we've talked about the tools. There's many other tools that you can use. We're sure you're going to find out more during this little episodes of gathering information. This is a magical way to do things. Share information openly, freely, and open up your hearts to take in as much as you can. You've come to make a difference. Your seat was reserved, and here you are. We are so happy to see you. And we know that humans and Earth are on an excellent path. Oh, yes, don't turn on your television. Don't believe the YouTube. Don't believe the stuff you're reading right now. See the higher realm and reach for it. You're creator beings, and you will create what you love the most. Enjoy this journey, dear ones. Know that you are magicians. we'll leave you with one final piece. We'll ask you, as we always do, to treat each other with respect, nurture one another, and play well together. But we also wish to remind you that when you smile, you send out a vibration of your vagus nerve that is huge. It affects other people, even if they don't see you. And you must remember that on the other side of the veil, with what we call home and may call heaven, the reality is laughter is the language of angels. So we're going to leave you with a little laugh. Hee hee. Sorry. That was their attempt at a joke. I'm a little dingy afterwards, but I just wanted to thank everybody for being here today. You're watching this, it's making a difference. And Sandra, thank you so much for inviting me. This is a joy.
Well, thank you, Steve, and thank you to the group of nines. I have to tell you, when you were talking about us being in line, I had tears.
So did I.
Very, very powerful. I appreciate it. It was a great transmission. I love the work. And for people who want to learn more about you and what you do, they can go to your website, steverother.org. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Aspav, everybody.